What's up? It's your boy Dr. Dupuy coming to you live from Dallas, Texas. This is where I first started my 30-year career in 1987. Actually, I started my career in San Antonio, Texas, my hometown. But in less than 2 years, I realized there were no opportunities in San Antonio for software developers. So I moved to Dallas in like '89. It's also where I met my wife. But I'm standing here right now at the world headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys. As you well know, that's my team. I don't care if they're not in the playoffs. I don't care if they're not in the Super Bowl. But this facility right here, this is first class, off the chain, state of the art. It's unbelievable. I did a tour this week as well. You guys can look. I'll pan around a little bit. I see the football field there. There was kids playing on it yesterday. Behind me is this giant screen. Something unbelievable. And then a couple nights ago, I went to the Maverick game, so you see I got my new hat on. They played the Clippers, and unfortunately, a young brother tore his Achilles. I think his name is Powell. So the play was real, like trivial, and he just went down. But anyway, it's episode 33, Dallas, Texas, Dr. Dupuy. And what I wanted to talk about, I came here, like I said, in '87, so I've had dinner with a couple of folks here that I used to work with. The first job I took when I came up here was with a company called what was the company called? TRW. They've changed the name now. It's Experian. And then I worked for a few other companies. Then I went to EDS after that. And then I went to a company called The Associates, which is now owned by Citigroup. And so, I've constantly taken advantage of opportunities and as they arose, right? I didn't question them. I mean, I thought about them and I made a decision. My point is, almost every time I took an opportunity that arose in my career, it worked out for me. And in the role that I'm in right now, Azure Technical Training for Microsoft, as you know by watching my videos, I travel all over the country, sometimes outside the country, teaching how to use Azure. Next week I'm in Atlanta. I'm teaching an Azure developer course, how to be a programmer using Azure services. And one of the things I wanted to point out is, a lot of fluff in the media right now, a lot of folks talking about how they're increasing the underrepresentation of African Americans and others, women and others in IT and in programming. And there are a bunch of efforts out there getting a lot of publicity and a lot of nice words, a bunch of talk. Nothing's changing. As I say, I don't want to be pessimistic. Sure, you may have an extra person going into IT here and there, but I just finished a class in Dallas. I had something like 55 people, and I think I had one brother in that class. And when I'm speaking about underrepresentation, for the most part, I'm talking about black males because I'm a black male, okay? And as I mentioned many times in my career, many speeches, in the course of 30 years, I have not worked with a total of 5 black men. And people always want to say to me, oh, Kai, that's because you work at a small company. Oh, Kai, that's because you work at a big company. Oh, Kai, that's because you were a consultant. Oh, Kai, that's because of a part of the country you worked in. Not understanding the fact that I've worked all over the country, multiple cities. I've worked outside of the country. I've worked as a consultant. I've worked full time. I've worked in startups. I've worked in giant tech companies. And it's always the same. You can't tell somebody who's living the life what it is when you've never done it. You never walked in these footsteps. So I've done all of that. And still today in 2020 or 2020, I taught a class this week with 50-something people in it, one brother. And of course, we bonded and connected. And I'm going to be mentoring him and working with him going forward. But where are we, right? All these programs, all this stuff we're talking about, it still comes down to when I travel around the country and go to these big tech companies and I walk in the room, I'm the instructor, and I'm the only black person in the room. Just like 30 years ago, I walked in the room on a team of software developers, and I was the only black software developer. And I know many of you share that same, especially if you're a black male, experience, and that also showed up in my research. But you can't get discouraged. IT and software development has been very good to me. So I have no complaints about that, but it can be lonely, right? And that's where the difference can be made, right? If you want to get more of us involved in this field, we have to have the skills, and I know that's where the effort is, but you also got to be willing to take advantage of opportunities. I've had a couple young brothers reach out to me recently about opportunities that have arisen for them in their careers, and should they take them, and how should they go about making the decision. That's a different story. How do you go about making the decision? But don't let fear and don't let worry about leaving something behind stop you from moving forward, right? One of the best things I ever did in my life, and I did not want to do it, was to leave my family and my friends in San Antonio, Texas, even though it wasn't very far away, and move up to Dallas. I met my wife here. I got my master's degree here, and I really jump-started my career here because it was my first opportunity to work for big companies. The 2 jobs that I got in San Antonio right out of college were both for the government, both for the state. Very stagnant environments, not state-of-the-art, not cutting edge. I came right to Dallas, and I was right in the mix. So, and just because I work at a good company now, have had a good career, and things are going great, I'm always open to opportunities. I'm always listening. I'm always paying attention. I'm always observing, because you never know. And I will say this, and I'll close on this. My ability to program and understand technology has allowed that skill to flower into multiple streams of income and multiple opportunities, from programming to speaking to teaching to creating content to podcasts to doing television shows, all kinds of stuff, right? Writing. And I get paid for all of it because I have the ability to speak and the ability to be technical. So keep that in mind. Be open to opportunities. Don't be afraid to leave something behind. It's been a very nostalgic week for me here in Dallas. I've had a great time. Once again, episode 32, Coding While Black, Dr. Kai Dupuy from Dallas, Texas. Peace.